The massive space station called Omega Terminus floated in the darkness between stars. It was huge, bigger than any city on Earth. Lights blinked along its metal walls like tiny stars. Inside the station, aliens from 12 different worlds waited, in a great hall. Commander Hyunwoo Park walked slowly down the long corridor. His black boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. Behind him came Dr. So-Young Kim and Captain Tae-min Lee. All three humans wore their best blue uniforms with shiny badges. "Remember," Hyunwoo said quietly, "we are here to make friends, not enemies." So-Young nodded. She carried a small bag with recording devices. "I will watch everything they do. We need to learn about them." Tae-min touched the weapon on his belt. "And I will keep us safe." The doors to the great hall opened with a loud hiss. The humans stepped inside and stopped. The hall was enormous. The ceiling was so high they could barely see it. Strange smells filled the air, like metal, flowers, and something else they could not name. Around the hall stood the aliens. Each group looked completely different from the others. Near the left wall stood the Saurids. They looked like giant lizards walking on two legs. Their skin was covered in thick, dark green scales that looked harder than armor. Each scale was as big as a human hand. Their eyes were yellow and cold. Ambassador Kai Ven was the biggest Saurid. He was 3 times taller than Hyunwoo. When he moved, his scales made scratching sounds against each other. His claws were long and sharp like knives. "So these are the humans," Kai Ven said. His voice was deep and rough. "They look even weaker than I thought." Next to the Saurid stood the Nexari. They looked like they were made of living crystal. Their bodies were clear like glass but sparkled with many colors. Light seemed to dance inside them. High Counselor Vexmar was their leader. She was tall and thin, and her crystal body made musical sounds when she moved. "Look at their skin," Vexmar said. Her voice sounded like wind chimes. "It is so soft and pink, like baby animals." The Storians stood in another corner. They looked like walking rocks. Their bodies were gray and rough like stone mountains. General Thraknor was their biggest member. He was wider than a car and just as heavy. When he walked, the floor shook. "Pathetic," Thraknor rumbled. His voice was like an earthquake. One hit would break them. The insect-like Kivari made clicking sounds with their mouths. They had hard shells covering their bodies like armor. Their Queen Zeska had 6 arms and eyes like black mirrors. Her shell was green and gold and looked impossible to break. "Soft skins always die first," Queen Zeska clicked. "No protection, no chance." Other alien species filled the hall. The Aquari looked like fish with legs. The luminance glowed like living fire. All of them stared at the humans with the same look. Disappointment? Hyunwoo walked to the center of the hall. He did not show fear, even though he felt small next to these giants. So-Young and Tae-min stayed close behind him. "Greetings," Hyunwoo said clearly. "We are honored to meet the Galactic Federation. I am Commander Hyunwoo Park. This is Dr. So-Young Kim and Captain Tae-min Lee. We come in peace from Earth." Kaivan looked down at the humans like they were insects. "Peace is good, but peace requires strength. You have no strength." "We have survived many wars on our world," Tae-min said. The aliens made sounds like laughter, but it was not friendly laughter. "Wars between soft skins do not count," Thraknor said. "Real war is between species with real power." Vexmar stepped forward. Her crystal body caught the light and threw rainbows on the walls. "Let us be direct, humans. We have a system to measure species. We call it the Survival Index. It measures how long a species can live in dangerous situations." So-Young opened her bag and took out a recording device. "May we know how this system works?" "Simple," Queen Zeska clicked. "We look at natural defenses, armor, weapons, healing speed, poison resistance, things that keep you alive." Kai Ven showed his claws. They were longer than kitchen knives. "These claws can cut through steel. My scales can stop bullets." Thraknor hit his chest. It sounded like hitting a wall. "My skin is harder than rocks. Fire cannot burn me." Vexmar made her body shine brighter. My crystal form cannot be cut or broken. I am nearly eternal. The humans looked at each other. They had no claws, no scales, no crystal armor. Their skin was soft and could be hurt easily. According to our measurements, Vexmar continued, humans score very low on the survival index, lower than any species we have met before. Even the Aquari score higher than you. The fish-like Aquari made bubbling sounds of agreement. This does not mean we hate you, Kaivan said, but his voice was cold. It means we must protect you. The Federation offers you protected status. We will keep you safe. You can live on peaceful worlds and make things for us. You will never need to fight or face danger. Like pets, Thraknor added helpfully. Yunwu felt anger growing in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. We thank you for your concern. But humans prefer to take care of themselves. Impossible, Vexmar said. You would die in the first real crisis. Your soft skin offers no protection. You have no natural weapons. You are too weak to survive alone in our galaxy. So Young stepped forward. May we ask about other species that joined the Federation? Did they all have strong natural defenses? Queen Zeska's eyes glittered. Of course. Only the strong survive. The weak become extinct or become servants. This is the way of the universe. There was one species, Kaivan said slowly, the Malari. They had soft skin like you. They lasted 6 months after joining us. What happened to them? Taemin asked. Plague. Thraknor said simply. Their soft bodies could not fight disease. They all died. This is why we must protect you. The hall became quiet. All the aliens stared at the humans with eyes full of pity and superiority. Hyunwoo looked around the hall. He saw creatures with armor, weapons, and bodies like fortresses. They all thought humans were weak because human skin was soft and easily hurt. We understand your position, Hyunwoo said finally. But we need time to discuss this with our people on Earth. May we have some time to consider your offer? The aliens looked surprised. Most weak species accepted protection immediately. Very well, Vexmar said. But do not take too long. The galaxy is dangerous for soft skins like you. Every day you wait is a day you risk extinction. As the humans left the Great Hall, they could hear the aliens talking behind them. Poor creatures, someone said. They do not understand how weak they are. They will learn, another voice replied. They always do. But as the humans walked back to their ship, none of them felt weak. They felt something else entirely. They felt ready to prove these aliens wrong. In space, being soft did not always mean being weak. Sometimes it meant being something else entirely. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Something that could survive what killed everyone else. 3 weeks had passed since the meeting at Omega Terminus. The humans were still on their ship, the New Soul, thinking about the Federation's offer. Commander Hyunwoo sat in his chair on the bridge, reading reports from Earth. Sir, called Engineer Daun Cho from her station. I am getting strange signals from the Storian colonies. Hyunwoo looked up. What kind of signals? Emergency broadcasts. They keep saying the same thing over and over. Gray death has come. Gray death has come. Dr. So Young turned from her computer. Gray death? What is that? Before anyone could answer, Captain Taemin's communication device beeped loudly. A hologram appeared in the air. It was Ambassador Kai Ven, but he looked different. His usually perfect scales were dull and cracked. Humans, Kai Ven said quickly. You must stay away from all Federation worlds. A plague has started. It is spreading fast. What plague? Hyunwoo asked. We call it the Gray Death. It turns living things into ash in hours. It started on the Storian worlds 3 days ago. Now it is spreading to other planets. The hologram flickered and went dark. So Young stood up quickly. We need to help them. Help them? Taemin looked surprised. They think we are too weak to help anyone. That does not matter now, Hyunwoo said. People are dying. Dayun's computer beeped again. Sir, I am getting more signals, this time from Saurid space. A new hologram appeared. It was a Saurid soldier, but his scales were falling off his body like old paint. Behind him, other Saurids were lying on the ground, their bodies turning gray. "Mayday, Mayday," the soldier said weakly. "The Grey Death has reached our worlds. Our scales cannot stop it, nothing can stop it, we are all going to die." The hologram went dark, more signals came in. The insect-like Kivari were screaming in their clicking language. Their hard shells were cracking and breaking apart. The crystal Nixari were sending out light signals of panic. Their perfect crystal bodies were developing cracks that spread like spiderwebs. "My God," whispered medic Jin Ho Kang as he listened to the reports. "This plague attacks their natural defenses. Their armor is not protecting them, it is killing them." So Young sat down at her computer and started working fast. "Look at this pattern. The Storians have the hardest skin like rocks. They died. First and fastest. The Saurids have thick scales. They're dying now. The Kivari have shell armor. They are starting to get sick." "What about the others?" Hyunwoo asked. "The Nexari crystal bodies are cracking. The luminance energy forms are getting weaker. Even the Aquari are having problems with their protective slime." Taemin looked at the data. "It is like the plague knows exactly how to attack their defenses." "Wait," Da-Yun said from her station. "I am getting a signal from General Thrak Nor." The hologram that appeared made everyone gasp. General Thrak Nor, who had been like a walking mountain, was now crumbling. Pieces of his rock-like skin were falling off. His voice was barely a whisper. "The Grey Death, it makes our stone skin brittle. We become like sand. Our children, all our children are gone. Turned to dust in minutes." His image broke apart, like he was made of sand, too. The bridge became very quiet. Outside the ship, space looked peaceful and calm. But across the galaxy, entire civilizations were dying. "Sir," Da-Un said softly, "Queen Zeska is sending a message." The queen of the Kivari appeared, but her beautiful green and gold shell was full of cracks. Her 6 arms shook as she spoke. "To any who can hear this," she clicked weakly. "The Grey Death has taken my hive. My children's shells broke like old eggs. The harder our armor, the faster we die. If there are any soft species listening, stay away. This plague will kill you in seconds." The message ended. Hyunwoo stood up. "Set course for the nearest infected system." "Sir?" Taemin looked shocked. "Did you hear what she said? If it kills armored species fast, it will kill us instantly." "Maybe," Hyunwoo said. "Or maybe not." So Young looked up from her computer. "I have been thinking about this. What if the plague does not attack weakness? What if it attacks strength? Their strength." "What do you mean?" Jin-Ho asked. "Look at the pattern. The hardest armor fails first. The strongest natural defenses become the biggest weakness. What if this Grey Death is designed to attack rigid structures, hard scales, crystal bodies, rock skin, shell armor?" Da-Yun turned in her chair. "But we have soft skin. No armor at all." "Exactly," So Young said. "What if that is not a weakness? What if that is an advantage?" Taemin shook his head. "That is crazy. We could all die." "We are all going to die anyway," Hyunwoo said. "If this plague spreads to every Federation world, it will reach Earth eventually. Better to face it now when we might be able to help." Another message came in. This time it was High Counselor Vexmar. Her crystal body was covered in deep cracks. Light leaked out of her like she was breaking, apart from inside. "This is our final message," she said, her voice like breaking glass. "The Grey Death has won. Our perfect crystal forms are shattering. We were wrong to think hardness meant strength. In the end, we were the most fragile of all." Her image disappeared. In a shower of crystal dust, Jin-Ho checked his medical equipment. "If we are going to do this, I need to prepare. I have no idea what this plague will do to human bodies." "None of us do," Hyunwoo said. "But we cannot sit here and watch everyone die." So Young downloaded all the data they had received. "I want to study every report. There has to be a pattern we can use." "Course set for the Storian system," Da-Un reported. "It will take us 6 hours to get there." "Good," Hyunwoo said. That gives us time to prepare. As the new soul turned toward the infected system, the crew worked quickly. They had no idea if their soft human skin would protect them or kill them faster than anyone else. But they knew one thing for certain. While the strongest species in the galaxy were dying from their own strength, the weakest species was about to find out what they were really made of. In the medical bay, Jin-Ho prepared syringes and medicines. In the engine room, Da-Yun checked every system twice. On the bridge, So-Young studied data about a plague that killed armor, but might spare skin. And in his quarters, Hyun-Woo looked at pictures of Earth. If they were wrong, these might be the last humans to die free. If they were right, they might be the first humans to save a galaxy. Either way, they would face the Grey Death not as the weakest species in the Federation, but as humans. And humans, as the galaxy was about to learn, were much harder to kill than anyone thought possible. The new soul arrived at the Storian homeworld of Granite Prime. Through the ship's windows, the planet looked wrong. The great stone cities that once reached toward the sky were now piles of gray dust. No lights blinked on the surface. No ships moved in orbit. Life signs? Commander Hyun-Woo asked. Engineer Da-Un checked her instruments. Very weak. Maybe a dozen Storians still alive in the deep caves. Everything else is gone. Dr. So-Young suited up in the shuttle bay. I am going down first. No, said Captain Taemin. Too dangerous. We should send a robot. Robots will not tell us what we need to know, So-Young replied. I need to see how the plague works on living tissue. I volunteer. Medic Jin-Ho checked her suit's air supply. I am going with her. And me, said Security Chief Dong-Ha Shin. Someone needs to watch for danger. Hyun-Woo wanted to stop them, but he knew they were right. They needed to understand the Grey Death, and only humans could do that. The shuttle landed on what used to be the main plaza of the capital city. Now it was just gray powder that swirled in the wind. The three humans stepped out carefully. Air is full of plague particles, Jin-Ho said, reading his scanner. Concentration is extremely high. So-Young knelt down and scooped up some gray dust. This used to be a Storian building, maybe a house where a family lived. They walked through the dead city. Everything that had once been alive was now dust. Trees, grass, animals, people, all turned to the same gray powder. Look at this, Dong-Ha called. He was standing next to a pile of dust that was shaped like a Storian. You can still see the outline. This one died recently. So-Young took samples of the dust and air. We need to find living Storians. Maybe we can help them. They found the cave entrance after 2 hours of searching. Deep underground, a few Storians huddled in the darkness. When they saw the humans, they were too shocked to speak. Soft skins, whispered an old Storian named Rukmar. You came here? You will die in minutes. We have been here for 3 hours, Jin-Ho said gently. We are still alive. The Storians looked at each other in confusion. Impossible. The Grey Death kills everything it touches. So-Young knelt beside a sick Storian child. The little one's rock-like skin was cracking and falling off in chunks. May I touch you? The adult Storians tried to warn her away, but So-Young reached out with her bare hand and touched the child's forehead. Her soft human skin made contact with the cracking stone skin. Nothing happened to So-Young. But something amazing happened to the child. The cracks stopped spreading. How? Rukmar gasped. I do not know yet, So-Young said. But I think our soft skin might be the answer. They spent 6 more hours in the caves. The humans touched every sick Storian they could find. Each time the plague stopped spreading. The Storians did not get better, but they stopped getting worse. When they returned to the ship, the crew was amazed. All 3 humans were healthy. Their soft skin showed no signs of the Grey Death. Send a message to the Federation, Hyun-Woo ordered. Tell them humans can survive in plague zones. The message went out across the galaxy. Most aliens thought it was a lie or a mistake, but then more humans volunteered. Biologist Min Ji-Oh asked to be sent to a Saurid world. Scout Jae-Seok-Wan wanted to go to the Kivari systems. Dr. Yuna Bei requested assignment to help the Nexari. One by one, Human volunteers entered the most dangerous plague zones in the galaxy, and one by one, they survived. Minji landed on the sordid world of Scalehaven. The great lizard-like aliens were dying by the thousands. Their proud scales were falling off like old paint. But when Minji walked among them without a suit, touching them with her bare hands, the plague stopped, attacking their scales. "Your skin," gasped a dying Saurid warrior. "It does not break. It does not crack. How is this possible?" "Human skin heals itself," Minji explained. "Every day old skin falls off and new skin grows. We are always changing, always healing." On the Kivari worlds, Jasiok found the insect-like aliens hiding in their broken hives. Their beautiful shells were cracked and leaking, but when he touched them, the cracks stopped growing. "The plague attacks what does not change," Jasiok realized. "Your shells are hard and permanent. Our skin is soft and always changing. The plague cannot hold on to something that changes every day." Dr. Yuna worked with the crystal Nixari. Their perfect eternal bodies were shattering like glass. But human touch seemed to teach their crystal forms how to heal. "You are not perfect," Yuna told High Counselor Vexmar as she held the alien's cracked hand. "But you are not supposed to be. Perfect things cannot change. Things that cannot change cannot survive." All across the galaxy, the same pattern repeated. Humans walked into plague zones that killed everyone else. They survived. More than that, they helped others survive too. Ambassador Kai Ven was dying on his homeworld when Dongha found him. The proud Saurid scales were almost all gone. His body was covered in gray dust. "Why?" Kai Ven whispered as Dongha knelt beside him. "Why do you help us? We said you were weak. We said you needed protection." Dongha touched the alien's forehead with his bare hand. Immediately, the gray dust stopped spreading. "Because you were wrong about what makes someone strong. I do not understand. Your scales are like armor. They protect you from outside attacks. But they cannot change. When something attacks the scales themselves, you have no defense." Dongha held up his own hand. The skin was soft and pink and looked fragile. "Our skin looks weak. But it heals. It changes. It adapts. Every day we grow. New skin. Every day we become a little bit different." Kai Ven stared at the human hand. "The plague cannot attack something that is always changing." "Exactly. Your strength became your weakness. Our weakness became our strength." As the days passed, more humans spread across the galaxy. They entered every plague zone, every dead world, every dying city, and everywhere they went, the Grey Death began to lose its power. The aliens watched in amazement as the soft-skinned humans did what their hardest warriors could not do. They survived. They adapted. They saved others. On the bridge of the new, Seoul Hyunwoo received reports from all over the galaxy. Humans were not just surviving the plague, they were beating it. "Sir," Dawn called from her station, "we are getting a message from the Federation Council. What is left of it?" The hologram showed aliens from every surviving species. All of them looked weak and sick, but they were alive. And they were all looking at the humans with new eyes. "We're wrong," said the voice of High Counselor Vexmar. "We judged strength by hardness. We thought armor meant power. We believed that what could not break could not be defeated." Her cracked crystal form sparkled in the light. "But we forgot the most important rule of survival. It is not the strongest who survive. It is not the hardest who endure. It is those who can change. And humans, it seems, are the masters of change." For the first time since first contact, the aliens looked at human skin and did not see weakness. They saw something they had never understood before. They saw the future. 6 months after the Grey Death first appeared, the galaxy was quiet again. But it was a different kind of quiet. On every world, the survivors were rebuilding. And on every world, humans were helping. Admiral Subin Han stood on the bridge of the new flagship Unity. The ship was built by humans and aliens working together. It had Storian strength, Nixari technology, and human adaptability all in one design. Report from the medical teams, called researcher Woo Jin Lim from his station. "Go ahead," Subin said. "The treatment is working. We have saved 90% of the aliens who were still alive when we found them. The Gray Death is almost gone from the galaxy. Subin smiled. It had been hard work, but they had done it. Humans had developed medicine based on their own biology. The treatment taught alien bodies how to heal and change like human skin did. Any word from the new Galactic Council? Subin asked. They are ready for the ceremony, Wu Jin replied. Every surviving species will be there. The ceremony was held at Omega Terminus, the same station where humans had first met the Federation. But everything was different now. The Great Hall had been rebuilt. Instead of separate areas for each species, everyone sat together. Commander Hyunwoo walked into the hall wearing a new uniform. It was still blue, but now it had symbols from every species on it. He was no longer just a human commander. He was the first leader of the new Galactic Council. The aliens who had once looked down on humans now stood up to honor him. But they looked different too. The surviving Saurids had new scales that were softer and could heal. The Nexari had learned to make their crystal bodies flexible. Even the rock-like Storians had developed skin that could change and adapt. Friends, Hyunwoo said as he reached the center of the hall. We are here to remember what we learned and to plan what comes next. Ambassador Kaivan stepped forward. He looked much better now. His new scales were smaller and softer than his old ones. They could bend without breaking and heal when damaged. 6 months ago I said humans were weak, Kaivan announced to the hall. I said your soft skin made you helpless. I was wrong about everything. He looked at Hyunwoo with respect. Strength is not about having armor that cannot break. True, strength is about surviving when everything breaks. Humans taught us this. High Counselor Vexmar stood next. Her crystal body now had gentle curves instead of sharp edges. Light moved through her more smoothly, and small cracks could heal themselves. We built our civilization on the idea that perfection meant never changing, she said. Her voice was softer now, like gentle music instead of breaking glass. We thought eternal crystal was better than living flesh. But eternal things cannot grow. They cannot learn. They cannot survive. General Thraknor was next. The big Storian was smaller now, but he moved more easily. His rock-like skin had learned to be both strong and flexible. Humans showed us that bending is not breaking, he rumbled. They showed us that healing is stronger than never being hurt. They showed us that soft can be harder than stone. Queen Zeska clicked her approval. Her new shell was lighter and could repair itself. The humans saved our children when our armor could not. They saved our future when our strength failed us. Dr. So Young stood up from her seat. She now wore the uniform of the head of Galactic Medical Research. We learned together, she said. You taught us about technology and space travel. We taught you about healing and change. Together, we are stronger than anyone was alone. Captain Taman, now Admiral of the Joint Defense Fleet, added, The Gray Death was not our enemy. Fear was our enemy. Fear of being different. Fear of being weak. Fear of change. But what is our future? Asked a young Aquari diplomat. Researcher Wu Jin activated a hologram in the center of the hall. It showed a map of the galaxy with new areas marked in bright colors. Beyond our galaxy are others, Wu Jin explained. Other species, other worlds, other challenges. Some will be friendly, some will not. Some will be stronger than us. Some will be different than anything we have seen. And when we meet them, Hyunwoo said, we will not judge them by their armor or their weapons or their skin. We will judge them by their hearts and their minds. Engineer Da-Yun brought up technical displays. Our new ships use adaptive technology. They can change and heal like living things. They are built by all our species working together. Medic Jin Ho showed medical data. Our new medicine combines the best of every species. Storian strength, Nexari precision, Saurid healing, Kivari teamwork, and human adaptability. Most importantly, said Scout Jaseok, we explore together. No species goes alone into the unknown. We share the dangers and the discoveries. Ambassador Kaivan raised his clawed hand. I have a proposal for the new council. Everyone turned, To listen. Let us create a new law, Kai Ven said. When we meet new species, we will not measure them by their defenses. We will not judge them by their appearance. We will give them time to show us who they really are. Seconded, said Vexmar. Immediately. Agreed, rumbled Thraknor. Yes, clicked Queen Zeska. One by one, every species in the hall agreed. The survival index was officially dead. In its place, they created the Understanding Protocol. As the ceremony ended, Hyunwoo looked around the hall. Humans sat next to Saurids. Nexari worked with Storians. Kivari shared ideas with Aquari. The galaxy had learned to value difference instead of fearing it. Admiral Subin, Hyunwoo called. Are our exploration fleets ready? Ready, sir. 5 joint ships with mixed crews from all species. Destination, the Andromeda Galaxy. Good. It is time to see what else is out there. Dr. Yuna Bei, now head of Alien Relations, smiled. What if we find species even stranger than us? Then we will learn from them, Hyunwoo replied. And hopefully, they will learn from us. As the new ships launched from stations across the galaxy, their crews were excited. They carried no weapons of conquest, only tools of discovery. They sought no empire, only understanding. The humans who had once been called the weakest species in the galaxy now led the strongest alliance ever created. Not because they had defeated anyone, but because they had saved everyone. In the command center of the Unity, Hyunwoo looked at the stars ahead. Somewhere out there were species they had never imagined. Some might have armor stronger than Storian stone. Some might have weapons sharper than Saurid claws. Some might have bodies more perfect than Nexari crystal. But none of that mattered anymore. The galaxy had learned that true strength came not from what could not break, but from what could heal. Not from what never changed, but from what could adapt. Not from standing alone, but from standing together. And humans, with their soft skin and changing hearts, would help teach the universe that being different was not being weak. It was being alive.